All right, guys, we're in the car today. I missed my Saturday ride last weekend because it was 9 degrees on both Saturday and Sunday, and I wasn't going to go out and ride in 9 degrees. So sorry for that. Today we got a little different thing going on. Today is Wednesday, and I am headed up to Vermont right now. And from Vermont, I'm going over to New York, and that's because I'm going to meet the owner of Furious Bikes, or should we call it Fabulous Bikes. I'm picking up a bike from him. He doesn't give bikes away. I'm buying it at a discounted price, but this is a bike that has not been reviewed yet. It's not out there. Won't be available for 2 or 3 months. So it's good for me because I'm the first one that's going to review it. Bike is one that they have now, and it's orange. And if you look at his website, he doesn't have any orange bikes, so I'm pretty excited about getting an orange bike. I like the red ones, but I'll take the orange one for sure. It was either that or green, because he's only got 2, I guess. So because these being manufactured now, they'll be here in 2 to 3 months, like I said. So I'm going to be picking up this bike, and like I said, it's very much like a bike he's already got out there now. I don't want to really talk a lot about it until I get it, because I want to get it and show it, and I think everybody's going to like it, because these bikes are pretty popular right now. And the good thing for me is, because guys know I like the power, instead of 2 750 motors, this thing is coming with 2,000 watt motors on it. So that's pretty exciting for me. The fact that I get to be the first to review this thing, and it's now an upgraded bike. But yeah, this is a full suspension 20-inch bike. You guys could probably guess which one it is. But like I said, I want to reveal it when we open it up. So like I said, very exciting. Took the day off today from work to drive up here. I'm going to get to meet Lampro, the owner of the company. That's pretty exciting to me. So I've got some other things to tell you too. If everything goes right and the weather gets nicer, because I live within 4 hours of him, so he's up in Montreal, Canada, so I can make it pretty much there in about 4 hours or so. I'm actually going to his New York warehouse today to pick up the bike and also meet Lampro. He wants to give me 2 bikes a month to review, or, you know, whatever it takes. He said a month, month and a half, 2 months, whatever. So he's going to give me 2 bikes to review. I'm going to do my stuff, my rides, my battery ranges, so on and so forth on these bikes. Return them. He's going to give me 2 more bikes. So we're going to have an endless supply of fabulous bikes here, Furious bikes. I got to ask him what he's doing with this. Is it Furious now? And he's dropping the other, or is there 2 different, and what's the difference? So I've got to ask him that too. He also expressed an interest in coming down and coming to my house, my shop, and maybe doing a little review down there. That would be exciting too, and I really appreciate that. So Lampro, thank you very much for that. I really... you know, I'm a small channel. To get this opportunity is just fantastic for me. I've been very lucky with opportunities. The whole opportunity I had with electric was just incredible. And, you know, going on into the future, I hope that continues. So, been very fortunate here. I guess I must be doing something right on my channel to have these many people and of this caliber. You know, Furious Bikes. Probably a year ago, I was on a rail trail ride. I remember which one it was. We were on the, I believe it was the Northern something or other trail that ironically goes to Vermont. And I was talking about this particular bike that I'm going to be picking up, but it was the 750 model, and I was so impressed with it at that point that I wanted to get it. I never reached out to the company. I know this company doesn't give bikes away. I did reach out to a friend of mine, Bruce, who did relay the information to Lampro, And Lampro was nice enough to tell Bruce to, have me call. And I called, and we've been talking, and it's just been a really positive experience. And like I said, getting this opportunity is just incredible for me. So I apologize to work that I had to take the day off today, but I wasn't going to miss this opportunity. Big growth for my channel, and very happy. So we're going to, on the way up here, I'll flip the camera around so you guys can see the highway or whatever. I don't know what's going to happen when I get there. He said he'd bring the bike out. I was kind of hoping to meet him and go in. We'll see what happens when I get there. I know he's super busy right now because of the tariffs. He got a bunch of orders. People are trying to beat the tariffs. They wanted to get their bikes sorted, so he's actually came down to the warehouse to get bikes shipped out today. And that's why he's down here today, and I figured it was a good opportunity. I happen to have good weather. Tomorrow I'm getting 5 to 6, so I'm going to try moving this camera over a little bit. Maybe the sun won't be as bad, but you don't see my face as much, which might be a good thing too. Like I said, pretty exciting today. I've known about this for 2 weeks now, but I've kept my mouth shut. I didn't really want to say much about it because I didn't want to jinx it. Yeah, this is a different thing for me, doing something in the car here. Don't normally do this. Not really set up with the cameras to do it, but I figured, hey, we'll give it a shot. It'd give me something to put out on Saturday, and you could see what's going on. All right, guys, so got the camera facing forward now. Figured I'd do this for a while. Instead of riding down the road, we'll be just talking while I'm driving my car. So the difference will be doing 67 miles an hour. So I got, I did that video. I kind of threw it together at the last minute. I did that controller change out on the electric trike there. Boy, I got mixed reviews on that. First, I get a lot of people. The two biggest questions I get asked is how to add a second battery, and how do I make my bike, trike, whatever, faster. Those are my two biggest questions. I get each one at least once a day in my email from somebody. So I know there's an interest in, getting these things to go faster. And I got the trike to go from 14.5 miles an hour to roughly 19, 20 miles an hour. And which is a big improvement for me. It makes that bike more appealing to me. Not to everybody, and I get that. But I got half the people were like, hey, great, and I know people started buying this controller and stuff because I saw the sales coming in. People were excited about it. On the other hand, half the people were like, you're an asshole because you're the reason why all these laws are coming into effect. And I'm like, well, this thing is still a class 2 bike. It's not a class 3. It's a class 2. It goes, under 20 miles an hour. It's got a 500 watt motor on it. And I mean, if you want to get technical, most of the bikes out there, this has a 500 watt motor on it, but it peaks at like 1,000 watts. So technically, that's not a legal bike if you want to get into the legality of it, because they do not specify whether it's peak power or whether it is nominal power. But yeah, I got mixed reviews on that. Half the people were yelling at me and the other half were very happy. So you can't make everybody happy. A friend of mine, Maximum Charge, awesome channel. This guy is just super professional on his videos. He's way better than I am, let's put it that way. He's got that $1 million voice too, so check out his channel. That's Maximum Charge. He's into faster bikes, and he said, hey Gary, I'm going to warn you. The faster bikes you're going to get a lot of crap from people. So he did warn me, and I realized that, but I'm not into I'm not in the faster bikes for the speed, which may sound dumb. Yeah, I just want to be able to go faster if I need to. If you get in a situation, for number one, I was watching rip one outdoors today, and he was out on his wired bike, and he was talking about all these laws coming into effect and what he knew about his state. And he got out on the road, and he's like, I'm just going to jump into traffic and I'm going to be tending my car. And that's what I have to do. I mean, not everybody's riding rail trails, and I get the fact that when people are out riding rail trails, and I'm talking about bikes that can go 28 plus miles an hour, they're like, you're a jerk because you shouldn't be going that fast, because they're protecting their right to be on the rail trails. I get it. I totally get that. But what about me when I'm out on the road? And the problem that I have is there is no class 4 in the state of New Hampshire anyways. It's not recognized. So I'm in an area where I'm not supposed to be on a road with a bike that's not a class 3. So, and that's a lot of my bikes. A lot of these bikes are coming with bigger than 750 motors on them. And, so technically it's against the law what I'm doing, driving them on the road. And then it's against the law for me to drive them on the rail trail. It's just silly. It should be, they should make another class of bike, leave class 1, 2, and 3 where they are. They're fine. I personally do not see people on these rail trails that are speeding along. Have I seen some kids go by? Yes. I have to tell you, did they go by faster than they should? Absolutely. But you know what? They went by respectfully. They said hi. They didn't do anything to endanger me when they went by, so I think they were in control of their bikes. Again, were they going too fast? Absolutely. But a lot has to do with respect in these trails. I don't ever really have anybody that gets mad at me for being on an e-bike. I do drive very respectfully. I have ran into maybe 2 people that mentioned I'm not supposed to be on the trail with a motorized vehicle. They weren't being jerks about it. They were just stating that. And I stopped. I said, look, in the state of New Hampshire, I am recognized as a bicycle, not a motorized vehicle. And I said, I know it seems kind of weird because it does have a motor on it, so technically it's a motorized vehicle, but the state of New Hampshire says no, so long as it's a class 1 or 2, it is a bicycle. Now, the reason why I say that is when I'm out on the rail trails with my bikes, and every one of them are unlocked and they're class 3, I'm breaking the law. No doubt about it. I've never been questioned on it or anything. I have talked to the police and they said, Gary, so long as you're out there driving respectfully and not endangering people, we're good with that. They don't want to get involved in this crap. I really think that they really should do speed limits on these trails, and I get the argument back. Okay, so say we put a 12 mile an hour, we put a 15 mile an hour, whatever speed limit. And I'm talking, I don't give a crap what you're on the trail with. You're on the trail with a regular bicycle, an e-bike, an e-trike, whatever. It shouldn't have ATVs out there, gas-powered things. If they're quads, honestly, and they're electric and they're doing the speed limit and they're being respectful, I wouldn't have a problem with electric quads being out there. Because they're not making noise. Everybody's out there to enjoy themselves. They don't want to have a bunch of noise. I get that, That's the nice thing about e-bikes and stuff, is they're nice and quiet. But I think it should be a speed limit. So the argument that I get every time I bring that up is, well, there's no one to enforce it, okay? You're right. I hardly ever see anybody out there of authority that could enforce it. But what would be easier? Number one, who's out there to enforce the classifications of the bikes? No one either. So it's kind of a moot point. So wouldn't it be easier for, let's say, for the police department to say, look, we're going to, we've got a lot of complaints coming in on the rail trail or the walking trail or whatever. People are speeding on bikes. So Saturday, Bill, I want you to go down there with the radar gun, and I want to make it known that we are out there enforcing the speed limit on the trail. And the guy goes out there for a nice Saturday. If I was a police officer and I got to hang out in a nice spot, shady area on a nice Saturday with a radar gun talking to people, I think that would be a good day of work for me. I'd enjoy that. So, and this guy could educate people, you know. They don't even have to write tickets. Just when all of a sudden people start realizing, hey, better watch, they've been out there with the radar gun. People are going to slow down. They're going to drive respectfully. Like I said, I don't see it where I am. So it's not a problem here. And I know it probably is a problem in other areas. And every time I hear about wild e-bikes and they're going crazy, and they always show pictures of California and kids riding on the road doing wheelies and stuff. And, you know, they're talking about e-bikes. And most of these pictures, they're not driving e-bikes. They're on ATVs, you know. So I think the whole thing's getting blown out of proportion, and it just, I don't know. Last year at this time, everybody was worried that 2024 was the year they were going to ban e-bikes. I do not believe they are ever going to ban e-bikes. They may ban class whatever, 3, 4, whatever we make up. And I think that's okay. Do I think we need to be on a rail trail with anything bigger than a class 3 bike? No, I don't. But if I want to buy a bike, and I don't, but if I want to buy a bike that goes 60 miles an hour, and I'm on the road, and you tell me, well, you can go on the road, but you got to register it with the state and or insure it, I don't have a problem with that either. I mean, that's my decision. If I want to buy a 50-mile-an-hour bike, and I know it's going to cost me $25 a year for a plate, and it's going to cost me $150 for the year to insure it, I know that going into it. And will I buy it? Probably, you know. But if I want to go 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour on a bike, I'm going to buy an electric motorcycle. I'm not buying a bike. So I think there is a limit to where we need to go with these bikes. Where does an e-bike stop, or an e-vehicle, whatever you want to call it? I think e-bikes should stop at class 3. Let me state that. And then we'll have some other classes. It could be a class 4, you know, I think there should be a class 4 up to a certain point, and then from that point on, that thing becomes an electric motorcycle. Take the damn pedals off of it, it's a motorcycle. What do you need pedals on a bike that's doing 70 miles an hour for, or 60 or 50 or whatever? So, you know, I think there should be a new classification. I mean, even when it comes to motorcycles, you have a motorcycle and you have a moped. And a moped is under so many cc and can only go up to so many miles an hour. You're not allowed to go on a highway with it because you can't keep up to speed safely, and then relatively light and get blown all over the place. It's common sense. So why can't we do that with bikes too? So that's my rant for the day on that. So much has been being said about these laws and stuff, and I just think it's silly. California, everybody's up in arms. Oh my God, look what California did. They didn't do anything worse. Well, they did. But in New Hampshire, I have the exact same law except for the throttle law. The throttle law is stupid. What is the difference between pedal assist and throttling? Seriously. If I'm rotating my feet with a cadence sensor, what is the difference between that and a throttle? Because all I got to do is rotate my feet and I'm throttling. That doesn't even make sense. That's just to me, that is they're just basically picking on the fact that it has a throttle. They're trying to associate it with a motorcycle, and that's why they're banning throttles, because it's a motorcycle if it has a throttle. Well, bull. I only use my throttle when I'm starting out, because it's damn hard to pedal a bike that weighs 100 plus pounds. The bike that I just got, that trike, and I haven't weighed it, but it says, so I'm talking about the Puppy trike, the Husky Plus. That bike is supposedly weighs 144 pounds. You want to pedal 144 pounds on a slight incline at a stoplight when you're trying to get across in front of cars, or you're trying to cross the road from a dead stop to get in front of cars? No, you need that assist. You need that throttle. By taking that throttle off of these e-bikes, you're endangering the driver as far as I'm concerned. And if I was ever in California and I went to cross a road and I didn't have a throttle and I got hit by a car, I'd be suing the state of California for taking that throttle off my bike and endangering my life. So I'll stop ranting about that because it does get my blood boiling, and as it does other people. So, you know, when I did that video and I started getting people, you know, upset with me because I'm encouraging fast bikes, I get it. I get why they're passionate. Like I said, a lot of these people are probably riding rail trails only, and they're not thinking about street use. I know, I would bet you a good 1/3 of the people that buy these things probably never intend on driving on the road. I know a lot of people think I'm crazy for being on the road. I'm not talking about a nice neighborhood. I'm talking about, you know what I drive on. I mean, I drive on this road. I mean, and this is a highway because it's got a huge shoulder for me to drive on. I'd feel comfortable driving on this road. I drive on roads with 45 mile an hour speed limits with absolutely no lane for me to be on. So that's why, to me, having that extra speed, that power in that bike is for a safety feature. If I all of a sudden notice a car drifting over because he's not paying attention, he's texting or whatever, I catch him in my mirror coming at me, and I get the power to shoot that bike off the road into the woods, I'm going to do it. And if I have a bike that I'm already at full power because I'm now limited to whatever, 50. I mean, if they're going to limit these bikes to 750, you're going to be going like 15 miles an hour tops on these things. And if you're in a road that's doing 45 miles an hour and you're doing 15 already, you've got no extra speed to get out of the way of that car. So, and again, that's my point. Faster bikes don't have to go faster, but faster bikes are safer. Enough said. I know I'm probably going to go back into this again because, again, I'm passionate about it, but we'll try to talk about some other things for a while. So how are we doing on this trip so far? We have to go another 2 hours and 22 minutes here. I've got 148 more miles to go. And I'm going to be there around 10:50. I'm in my brand new Hyundai Santa Cruz. So, yeah, it's a truck car is what it is. It's a Tucson that they make the back a bed, and the bed's not very big. It's 4.5 feet, but it's a nice place to put some stuff in. And if I leave the tailgate down, I'll get at 6.5 feet, so on and so forth. It's nice for me because at my age, I want more comfort. I want a car, but I need a truck sometimes. So I've been using my Mercedes as a car truck. It was a hatchback, and I had the back seats down all the time, and I would throw all kinds of stuff in that car. So that car was 10 years old. Yeah, 10 years old. And it had like 90,000 miles on it. And I said, you know what? Time to move it on. They gave me some good money for it at the dealership. And it was the only reason why I actually went in to buy a used Santa Cruz. And they were like, well, we could get you in a brand new one. Now, granted, this isn't the top of the line one.
Welcome to Vermont.
Hey, we're in Vermont, guys. This isn't the top of the line one. This is the SC, so it's the lowest end model. But I got to tell you, this car can drive itself. Literally can drive itself. You shouldn't, and if I do it for too long, it tells me to put my hands back on the steering wheel. But it does have the ability to, you set the thing in cruise control, and it has the steering on it. I hit this little thing that looks like a steering wheel, and it keeps me on the road. And it works pretty damn good. I wouldn't do it because that's crazy, but if you're going down the road, and there's a lot of people that are businessmen, and they're trying to conduct business, and if you set this thing and you did your normal routine where you looked up and you looked down and you looked up and you looked down, I think it'd be a much safer thing. And you've got that, collision avoidance on it. So I think it's a definite safety feature. That's why it is a standard feature on Hyundai. And it's great that they do it. I mean, these Hyundais are pretty nice cars, guys. This is about my fourth one I've owned. Very nice. I've never had any problems with these things. This thing is, it's base model, but it's got power windows and got a huge screen on the front of this thing. This screen on this thing's got to be 2 feet long and 6-7 inches wide. Pretty nice. Got everything I need in it. And it gives me the ability to have that truck in the back there. So, and, picking up this today, initially I was going to bring my rack. And he said, this time of year, it could get really dirty on the back, on the rack. That's one of the reasons why Lampro wants me to wait till the weather clears up a little before I start transporting his bikes. Because he's probably going to give me the bikes already built, and I will take them down on my rack, use the 2 bikes, return the 2 bikes, get 2 more. So we want to make sure I can do that and keep these bikes in top-notch condition, which I will do. I'm not going to go out, get them really dirty. I'm not that kind of guy. I have a lot of respect. When people say, can you keep it nice? I'm going to keep it nice. But, this is going to make it easier. I ordered a trailer hitch. Unfortunately, it didn't come with one. They didn't have one in the yard with one. So I ordered a trailer hitch for it so I could put my mount on it. I actually ordered, just something for you guys to think about if you do run one of these hitch mounts things. I noticed on my other car, especially when I folded it up, you could barely see my taillights. So I thought it was a very dangerous situation. So I always took that rack off my car. I didn't leave it on all summer or whatever. And when it's down, then the bikes are in the way, but I could actually see my taillights better with the bikes on than I could with the rack folded up, if that makes sense, because the rack has big channels in it that the wheels sit in that were covering the taillights. So I bought some lights. So I looked in, they sell bike rack lights, but they get like $125 to $150 for them. And you're really not getting any more than if you just go on to Amazon. You could buy the lights that plug into your trailer hitch that are already on a wire. They're intended for cargo racks or whatever. And I'm just going to figure out a way to mount them, because I don't want to mount them on the rack, because when the rack's folded up, I want to have them facing out so that people can see them. And when the rack's got the bikes on it, I want the lights so that they're on the bikes and people can see it then. So I'm going to fabricate something, whether it's Velcro straps or whatever. But I bought this thing for like $30 on Amazon. It's got LED lights, plugs right into your trailer outlet. And they work right and left, brake lights, running lights. It's a great little thing. I'll show it when I get it done so that people know. I'm just throwing it out there because e-bike season's starting up. It's soon. People are going to start thinking about, hey, I should get an e-bike for spring, because we're going to get there pretty soon. We're into February. March is coming. Not everybody's up in this cold weather, so their springs are coming in. But, anytime I can come up with an idea like that, I do throw them out there. And I'm always trying to think of new content and stuff. And, it makes my life easier and safer. So that's why I do it. So what else is going on? I bought for the one I put the controller in there, the electric XP trike. I put the controller in that, and I no longer could use the tail light connector because it was a 3-pin connector, and the new controller has a 2-pin because it just has a tail light. So I ordered a 2-pin tail light for the bike. Again, it was like $12.95. So I will have a tail light on that bike. I will no longer have brake lights, but I'm going to leave the controller in. Like I said, that bike appeals much more to me, that trike, with a 20 mile an hour ability than a 14.5. So that bike's going to get used a lot more at 20 miles an hour than it is at 14.5. I can tell you that. So I am going to put the tail light on that thing. I'd probably never use it for a night ride anyways, and I hardly ever group ride. So, and I don't think the brake light is a big deal on that. So that's my answer to that. $13, $12.95 tail light comes with enough wire to plug that right in. And that bike will be wrapped up now with that controller. And that's all I'm waiting for on that. I'll wrap that thing up. So the Electric X Peak, the new one, I've straightened the wheel out enough. I left it on the bike. I used my spoke wrench on that while it was on the bike, and I straightened the wheel out pretty good on it. It still has a hop to it. So I got the side to side out, but it has a hop, and you can get the hop out, but man, it is just really hard to get the hop out because it means basically you got to loosen up spokes, you got to tighten up spokes on the other side of the rim to pull it to that side. Pain in the neck. So Electric offered to give me another wheel. We're going to put another wheel on that and be done with that. So I don't know if they'll send the wheel without the motor, or I have a feeling the way Electric is, because they're so customer orientated that they don't want to stress their customers out by sending them a wheel that they'd have to transfer the motor over to and transfer the tire over to. I will bet you this thing's going to come wheel, motor, tire, ready to go on the bike, guaranteed. I just know that about Electric. I can't stress enough. Do I get free bikes off Electric? Absolutely. So that's my payment for what I do for them. I don't sell any bikes. Do I sell bikes? Yeah, I sell bikes. No one uses I've had 3 people use my link. No one ever does. There's no reason to use my link. I don't have any money off. So, by the way, Pucky Puppy, I'm going to put it up. If you guys want a Pucky Puppy, any one of them, I guess. I have a discount code now. I'm going to put it on the Puck I Puppy videos that I've already done. I will put it in the comments. If you use that link, first of all, I get credit. Second of all, you're going to get a discount. He didn't tell me what the discount is. So $50, $100, I don't know, but there will be a discount there, just so you know. But back to Electric. They don't give me any discounts to pass on, so no one bothers to use the links. Like I said, I've had 3 people use it, one of which I was a good friend of mine and he used it. The other 2 were just really nice people that made sure I got some credit for it. So my point is, I'm not making any money off this company. I just, their customer service is just really, really good. And buying an e-bike mail order over the internet, whatever you want to call it, you don't have a store to go to bitch at the guy at the store. That's what I'm talking about. Having good customer service is the most important thing. I would buy a crappier bike and have good customer service than buy a better bike with crappy customer service. So, my point. I mean, it comes down to, can I do anything with an e-bike? Pretty much. So that's not an issue, but how do you get parts for it? If I can't get parts for a bike, then I'm screwed, or I'm going to go somewhere else for parts, which means if you get a controller that goes bad on these things, I don't know of any place that I can go, hey, I need a controller for a juice bike. And they go, oh, yeah, we got those in stock. Do you want this one, or this one? I don't know of any place like that. If you guys do, please let me know, because I'd love to know that. So my options are to completely buy a whole motor kit with a screen and everything else. That's the only way I could get away from a brand if you couldn't get parts for it. So, you know, like I said, I don't know anybody that reprograms controllers or anything like that. So, or would have the capability. I mean, these controllers are all similar if you knew what wires to cut, so on and so forth, but I don't, so I couldn't do that. I'm sure if I investigated it enough, I could learn how to do it. There's not that many wires there, but I have no need to. I relatively stick with stock bikes and change things to the way I like them. So the X-Peak, that will be getting changed out. I want to get out there and ride it. It was one of the bikes I wanted to ride on Saturday or Sunday for this video that we're doing now. But I wasn't able to get out there. Like I said, it was too cold, and there's no way I'm going out in 9 degrees. Too cold for me. 20s, I'll go out in. You know, am I going out when it's 19? I don't think so. I'll go out if it's 23, whatever. But I'm not going out much past that. So I was going to do a ride video where we were going to talk, and I'd do an old ride or whatever. I started looking at some of the old rides I had. I got some, they got leaves on them, so you know it wasn't real, and I wouldn't even try to fake it was not real anyways. But I figured, you know, we were going up to Vermont here, and why not shoot a video going up here? And you guys get to look at these mountains up here, and they call them mountains. We got bigger mountains in New Hampshire. These are hills. Yeah, but you know, they're mountains, whatever. Arizona's got mountains too, but I don't really think they're mountains. I think they're hills like this. Because like I said, we've got some pretty tall mountains in New Hampshire. Mount Washington, I've been up that. I don't think it'd be a picnic going up one of these either, but very pretty state. I love coming up here. I love going up this highway and looking at everything. I don't come up here enough, though. It can be expensive to stay up here. A lot of bed and breakfasts, and I'm not a big bed and breakfast kind of guy. I kind of like my privacy. Don't want to share a bathroom. And I mean, some of these you don't have to share bathrooms, but I still like my privacy somewhat. My wife and I went to a bed and breakfast for our honeymoon, and we had been there before, but you know, they insist you give them the breakfast and, you know, lunch, and we want to just go out and enjoy ourselves. We don't want to be, hey, we're serving breakfast from 8 in the morning till 10. Make sure you're there. If I want to get up, my wife wants to get up at 10, which that ain't me. I don't get up at 10. My wife does. I want to do that, you know. I don't want to, geez, hon, wake up because we got to go down for breakfast. It's 9 o'clock, and I don't want to get there too late. But yeah, there's still places to stay up here. We have. But awesome place to visit for sure. All right, so you're going to be changing over a lot of stuff on that X-Peak when I finally get a couple rides in on that. Changing the tires over, and to be perfectly honest, I think I said this before. If I get that rim and I got to change that rim out, I'm probably going to change the tires on that because Electric All-Wheel sent out some 26-inch tires for that bike that I want to put on there because they are they're going to be quieter on the street, and they're also good on the trail. They're just a good all-around tire. It's the same tire I have on the wired bike. So I probably, unfortunately, will be taking the Chow Yangs off that thing right away and putting the Allscape tires on it. I also have the bike that I'm picking up here. It comes with the CST tires on it. I also have Allscapes for that bike also. So Electric All-Wheel sent out the 20-inch Allscapes for that bike. I will ride it with the CSTs for a while. I actually like the CSTs, but the Allscapes are really nice tires. So we will put them on, and we'll do a little advertising for Electric All-Wheel. And it's a very nice tire, like I said. So the CSTs may not be quite, they're, I think, a little more street, where the Allscapes are a little more all around. They're good for snow, they're good for trails, and they're good for the streets. So that's why I'm leaning towards the Allscapes. The tread pattern is a little more aggressive. The CSTs definitely look like a motorcycle tire, like a motorcycle tire for the road. It's got that square pattern on it, where the Allscapes have fingers in it. It'll channel water better, so on and so forth. So we'll be putting those on that bike eventually. We'll run it with the CSTs for a while. When I can get out there, God, I hope this weather gets better. I mean, what are we up to now? 11 degrees, so it's actually getting cooler out as I drive. I don't remember what it was before. Maybe it was still 11. I don't know. It ain't warming up, though, and we are almost 9 o'clock now, and I think it was 8 o'clock when I mentioned it before. So almost an hour into this day, we are driving north. We're driving towards Canada. So it's definitely going to get colder. So like I said, Furious Bikes is in Montreal, Canada, and I was going to drive up there, but he said the problem with that is I would have to pay the tariffs coming over, bringing the bike back. So it's just easier to pick the bike up in New York. So it got transferred down to his warehouse. I'm going to pick it up there and go. I really would like to someday get up to Montreal and see his store. I saw it on Google. Looks like a pretty big store. The warehouse we're going to is a big building. He probably doesn't have the whole thing. He probably just has a section of it because it was a pretty big building. So that's what I'm guessing. Hey, noticed Citizen Cycle did a video this week where he flashed his controller. Wired sent him the software, and they sent him the connectors to be able to flash that Predator to change the controller to an adjustable controller where you can control that front wheel separately as far as the power going to it. That's what I had talked to Joel about, and we are having on ours. I would imagine we're going to be very similar. I believe the controllers are very similar to that bike. Don't know if they're the same ones, but that's what I insisted to Joel that we would do to that thing. The one thing that I had asked Joel, and I'm hoping that the manufacturer, they're getting these controllers screens from somebody. They're not making them where the bikes are being made. So I'm hoping the controller does come with the ability to shut the cadence sensor off to that front wheel. I believe I've mentioned this before. If I don't have that ability, I may just unplug that front wheel. And I asked Joel, I said, hey, if I unplug the cadence sensor to the front wheel, will it set a code? And he's like, oh, you won't have to do that because we can control them. Well, I really don't want to pedal the bike and have that wheel shoot out from under me. If I need the extra power, I kind of want to just hit the throttle. So I want that motor engaged when I want it, but I don't necessarily want that front motor on all the time. So if I was trucking up a hill, let's say, and I was dropping off speed and I said, you know what, I want that front motor on because I want that torque, I could just hit the throttle and that front motor would suck me up the hill. So I don't necessarily want to pedal because, one, if you watch Citizen Cycle, when he pedaled that thing, even when the bike was moving in a straight line, when he started pedaling, that wheel shot out. That thing wanted to take off, and it was spinning. So you can imagine if you were going into a little bit of a corner and you started to pedal and that wheel started to spin, that's a recipe for disaster. So I'm hoping that I'll have the ability to shut that front cadence sensor, well, the cadence sensor to the front motor off. If not, I'm going to unplug it and hope that it doesn't set a code. And if it sets a code, I may have to, I'm assuming there's only one cadence sensor on the bike. Well, I'm getting a torque sensor actually. But I'm assuming there's only one. So I don't know. If I unplugged it from the motor, I'd probably have to get another cadence, another torque sensor to be a dummy, or I'd have to find out what the resistance was to fake that thing into. It'd probably be easier to read the resistance on that thing, so I could try to fake that into thinking it's still there. Because they are independent controllers, so it won't know what the other controller's doing. I don't believe. All right, guys, we just got into Vermont now. We're going across the bridge. On the other side of this bridge, it was New York. I just met with Lampro. I talked to him for probably a good 45 minutes, and very interesting guy. He's very passionate about his company also. I've got the bike in the back. I've got some history on the bike, so can't wait to get this thing opened up and start telling you about this thing. But yeah, so I didn't, this is just a warehouse I went to, so the bikes are just in boxes and stuff, so nothing to see there. I would like to go to his company up in Montreal though at some point, just to visit. We did talk again about doing the bikes 2 at a time. We're going to wait till the weather gets nicer. I think honestly he would have given me the bikes right now, but we would like to wait. I would like to wait too. I told him no, I don't want to take the bike now because it's too cold. And honestly, I got bike reviews I got to do. I got to try to get out there to ride. I got that 2 electric bikes I got to do rides on and reviews. So, and two rides for me right now, that's 2 weeks alone. If it's not warm this weekend or it snows, which it's supposed to snow, I might not be able to get out there. So I really don't want to take in any more bikes right now than I have to. As soon as this month gets over, we'll be on the good side of winter, and things will start getting better for sure. But this is a heavy bike, boy. I think this is probably the heaviest box I've ever picked up. So I didn't realize how heavy it was. He thinks it's around 140 pounds. And it is dual battery and dual 1,000-watt motors. So it definitely weighs, but who cares because it's got plenty of power. He did tell me that this bike out of the hole isn't as fast as his 750 is, but once it gets going, it gets going. So we'll find out. Actually, watching Citizen Cycle there, I don't really want the thing as fast out of the hole as he had the bike going with all that wheel spin and stuff. But Lampro did tell me that this thing is super adjustable. Some of the best screens out there. Everything is all digital, no analog crap. So this thing is going to be very adjustable, and I can't wait to play with this bike. So we are back on the main highway headed to my house now. As you can see, it had snowed up here. We got beautiful ice-covered trees up here, and it's almost 1 o'clock. So all right, guys, we're home. I got it here. It was a long, over 500-mile ride. Took me over 8 hours to do it there and back. I did get to talk to Lampro quite a bit when I was there. I couldn't bring the cameras in because we were literally standing in a hallway. So I was hoping to do it, but he said that we're going to do some stuff in the future. And as you know, he's going to be sending bikes down, and it's going to be really good. So good for my channel anyway. It's good for you guys to see some of these Furious bikes. So I did talk to him about the name Furious versus the Fabulous bikes, and he said he's got mixed emotions about it, but the United States is probably going to get the Furious bikes, and Canada is going to stay with Fabulous bikes. So there's the inside scoop today, guys. Thanks for not riding with me. Hopefully we get a ride in this weekend. It's not looking good though. We got over a foot of snow coming, so I'll see what I can do. If not, we'll come up with some more content, and hopefully it's good enough to keep you guys watching. So you guys have a great week, and let's hope to do it again next weekend. Thank you very much. All right, guys, I want to thank you for watching my video today. And if you are interested in buying a bike or something, please check with my affiliate links. That helps the channel out greatly. Again, guys, hit that like and subscribe on the way out. And thank you very much for watching. You guys are awesome. Thank you.